and Treasurer. Well, let's bring in Mark Bouris, the Executive Chairman of Yellow Brick Road, for more on that rate cut. So finally, this is something that households have been waiting more than 4 years for. Is it going to make a difference to them?
I don't think it makes much difference at all. I mean, it's a welcome reduction in the interest rate, but I don't think it's going to make much difference to everybody. I don't think everyone's going to go out and start spending like a drunken sailor because all of a sudden they've got extra $100 in their bank account.
Yeah. The RBA Governor was very specific yesterday in her press conference that this is unlikely to be a pattern, right? We're not likely to see another cut. Is she concerned about further inflation?
She's always concerned about further inflation because inflation is not yet in the band. So if you look at the December quarter, it is at 0.5, which is what they call the trim mean core inflation. That's 0.5. If you extrapolate forward, it's 2%, but it doesn't necessarily follow it's going to be the next read. So she is concerned about inflation, very much so. And she's also said something really important, Sarah. She said that I don't care what the money markets say. I don't care whether the banks are saying there's going to be 3 or 4 rate reductions. I will make the decision, and I'll make the decision based on the data. And the next lot of data comes in at the end of April. It's
because, obviously, as you said, that the worst of inflation may not necessarily be behind us, despite what's happening globally.
Correct. Well, if you look at the United States, the Federal Reserve over there is already earmarked the fact that they will not be reducing interest rates, even though they've had a couple of rate reductions, because inflation's crept back into the system. Now, it's not necessarily because of tariffs or the threats of tariffs. It's just how people are spending there. You know, we get a rate reduction, we feel, oh, wow, you've got a couple of rate reductions, let's go spend. They're pretty smart about this, the RBA these days. And they're not going to let us get back into that pattern. And so whatever happens, we might only get 1 rate reduction this year.
Do you think
that's quite possible from what she said yesterday. It's all going to depend on what the data says, and and our data now comes out. The next lot of data comes for the end of the quarter. March comes out sometime in April, late April.
That's also, I suppose, designed to temper our expectations, right? So that we don't go out and just frivolously spend this money, which then fuels inflation and so on. Aussies have worked so hard, and they've been suffering for so long now. Is there going to be any relief for so many of those small businesses that we've seen out there that are struggling?
No, I don't think so. I mean, 1 rate reduction won't really make much of a dent in the small businesses' interest that they're paying to their bank to run their business in terms of lines of credit, etc. I don't think that's going to be the case. I don't really see any relief at all at this stage, except we're not going to see rate rises. And we have a Reserve Bank board who's using language which is much more rate reduction based. So she's at least putting us into that territory. If you go back this time last year, late last year, August, September, they were talking about a possibility of a rate rise. So we have changed the rhetoric, the language, the narrative has changed, which is a great thing. Maybe we feel a bit more positive, but a series of rate reductions, let's wait and see about that.
I mean, it's only 25 basis points, but Mark, it was enough for you to bust out a move yesterday. I saw on your Instagram you're doing a bit of the Donald Trumps. Can you give us another rendition this morning of those? Look at that! Look how impressive you are. Is that what you bust out on a Friday night?
Yeah, I was sort of like putting the Trumpster in there, you know, like because that's how I was feeling. Because I thought, my God, it finally happened. Because there's been so much speculation about this for so many years, Sarah. Like, I was glad to see it happen, and someone dared me to do it and said, "Oh, stuff it."
All right, come on, I'm daring you to do it again now. Here we go, it's like this.
Come on.
Carlos, you got nothing on us.
Where's Carlos?
I don't know about that.
Yes, you do. Come on, Carlos. Come on.
Hey.
All of Australia should be doing it. All of Australia should be doing it.
Good on you, Mark. Thanks, Sez.